here we will discuss about next problem. Here the statement is given as P of x denotes x is a comedian, f of x denotes x is funny, and the domain is all the people. So here some symbols given, we have to express the solution. First one is for all x, C of x implies f of x. Implication means we know that P implies Q can be expressed as if P then Q. So C of x implies f of x can be understood as if C of x then f of x. That means if x is comedian then x is funny. That is the meaning of this part. Now here the domain is universal quantifier for all x. That means we can express this as every comedian is funny. See the next example. For all x, C of x meet f of x. C of x meet means it is conjunction. So P conjunction Q can be read as P and Q. Similarly, C of x meet f of x can be read as C of x and f of x. That means x is comedian and x is funny. Here what is the domain for all x? That means every person. So we can say that every person is comedian and funny. Next one, there exists x, C of x implies f of x. That means there is some person such that if the person is comedian then funny. Like that. There is a person such that if he or she is comedian then he or she is funny. Last one is there exists x, C of x meet f of x. C of x meet f of x means conjunction. That means both conditions are satisfied. It can be written as C of x and f of x. Here domain is existential quantifier. That means only some people. So it can be expressed as some comedians are funny. Or in other way also we can express. There are some persons such that persons are comedian and funny. In that way also we can write the solution. See next one more problem. Here P of x denote the statement x can speak Russian. Q of x denote the statement x knows computer language C++. Here some English sentences are given. We have to express in terms of P of x, Q of x, predicates and quantifiers. See the first one. There is a student at your school who can speak Russian and who knows C++. There is a student means not all, only some people. So we have to use existential quantifier here. And one more thing is who can speak Russian and who knows C++. And means here we have to apply conjunction. So solution can be read as there exists x, P of x meet Q of x. That means there is some student who can speak Russian and knows C++. See the next one. Every student at your school either can speak Russian or knows C++. Every student means here domain is universal quantifier. Here C either can speak Russian or knows C++. R is nothing but disjunction. So here we have to apply universal quantifier and disjunction between two predicates. So solution can be written like this. For all x, P of x join Q of x. That means every student at your school either can speak Russian or knows C++. In this way, we can translate the given sentences in terms of predicates, quantifiers and logical connective. Next, we will discuss about precedence of quantifiers. Precedence means priority. For example, if quantifiers for all and there exist are present in an expression which contains logical operators, these quantifiers will have highest priority over logical operators. For example, consider this one. For all x, p of x and q of x. Here we are having universal quantifier and logical operator. As we know that quantifier has highest priority over logical operator, this should be treated like for all x, p of x, join q of x, because quantifier has highest priority over logical operator. So this should be evaluated as for all x, p of x, join q of x. In this way, we can define that quantifiers have highest precedence compared to logical operator. Next, negation of quantifiers. Here some statement is given, we have to express the negation. Here the statement is, every student in our class has taken course in calculus. If we take the domain as all the students and let assume p of x as x has taken course in calculus. So the given statement can be expressed as for all x, p of x. We have to find its negation. So negation of for all x, p of x. It can be written as there exists x negation p of x. So its negation is like this, negation of for all x, p of x. It is equivalent to there exists x negation p of x, which means that there is at least one student who had not taken course in calculus. In this way, we can find negation of the given statement. Here, one statement is given, every student in this class has studied calculus. We have to express this problem using predicates and quantifiers. Here, the statement can be written as for every student x in the class, x has studied calculus. For every student x in the class means, that means we should understand that we are taking domain as all the students in the class. This statement, x has studied calculus, can be taken as c of x. So as the domain is universal quantifier, it can be written as for all x, c of x. Next, one more problem is there. Here some statements are given. You have to translate these into logical expressions using predicates, quantifiers and logical connectives. So some English sentences are given. You have to translate into predicates, quantifiers and we have to apply logical connectives also. First problem is no one is perfect. Second one is not everyone is perfect. Third one, all your friends are perfect. Next one, at least one of your friends is perfect. We have to translate all these statements into predicates and quantifiers. See the first one, no one is perfect. So we can assume p of x as x is perfect. We can assume p of x as x is perfect. Here what domain is all the people. Here domain is all the people. So here the statement is no one is perfect. That means everyone is not perfect. Everyone means we should use universal quantifier. P of x means x is perfect. Not perfect means we should write negation p of x. So no one is perfect can be written as for all x negation p of x. That means everyone is not perfect. That is equivalent to no one is perfect. See the next one, not everyone is perfect. So first we can express this everyone is perfect can be written as for all x p of x. So for all x p of x indicates that everyone is perfect. If we take p of x as x is perfect. Here what you have to find, not everyone is perfect. So apply negation between this. That means then we will get negation for all x p of x. That is the solution for this one. Negation for all x p of x. So not everyone is perfect. See the next one, all your friends. are perfect. For example, assume P of x as x is perfect. Assume f of x as x is your friend. So, assume P of x as x is perfect, f of x is your friend. Here domain is all the people. That means in the domain consisting of your friends, not your friends, it may consisting of all the people. Here what you have to express, all your friends are perfect. So, if the person is your friend, then he is perfect. So, if means we should apply implication. As it is, we have to prove for all. That means it is universal quantifier. So, we can express as for all x, P of x implies f of x. That means every person x, for every person x, if x is your friend, then x is perfect. In that way, we can find solution for this one. If the domain is all the people. See the next one, at least one of your friends is perfect. At least one means not everyone. That means here we have to apply existential quantifier. So, the meaning of the statement is there is at least one x such that x is perfect and your friend. And means we should apply conjunction here. So, solution will be there exists x P of x meet f of x. That means there is one person who is your friend and perfect. So, that is the solution for this one. There exists x f of x meet P of x. See the next problem. Express the following statement using logical operators, predicates and quantifiers. Here some propositions are tautologies. That is the given statement. We have to express in terms of predicates, quantifiers and logical connectives. Here we are assuming domain as propositions. Here we are assuming domain as all the propositions. First we will assume that T of x such that x is a tautology. Here domain is some propositions. Some means existential quantifier. So, we can express as there exists x T of x. That means there is some proposition which is tautology. Here we are assuming domain as propositions. So, assuming T of x as x is a tautology. So, solution will be there exists x T of x. Next, we have to know about the De Morgan's laws for quantifiers. We have two rules. First one is apply negation to the existential quantifier. Next, apply negation to universal quantifier. So, negation of there exists x P of x. Negation of there exists x P of x. If we apply negation inside, it is equivalent to for all x negation P of x. That means apply negation to the existential quantifier. Its equivalent statement will be for all x negation P of x. So, when it will be true, when it will be false. When it will be true means exact translation of that statement. That means for every x P of x is false. If this condition is satisfied, we can say that given statement is true. When it will be false means opposite to this. That means there is some x for which P of x is true. So, opposite to this one. If this condition is satisfied, then we can say that given statement is false. See the second one, applying negation to universal quantifier. Then it will become there exists x negation P of x. So, exact meaning is there is an x for which P of x is false. If this condition is true, then the given statement is true. When it will be false means opposite to this. That means for every x, p of x is true. If this condition is satisfied, then we can say that given statement is false. So, applying negation to universal quantifier and existential quantifier, these can be considered as De Morgan's laws for quantifiers. Here we can find some more examples. Here p of x is given as x equal x square. Here the domain is all the integers. We have to find the truth values. See the first one, p of 0. X equal to x square is treated as p of x. P of 0 means substitute 0 in place of x. That means 0 equal 0 square, which is true. So, the truth value of p of 0 is true. See the next one. There exists x p of x. The meaning of this statement is there should be for at least one element in the domain for which condition will be true. Here domain is all the integers. For example, take 1. 1 equal 1 square. Condition is true. That means there is at least one element for which condition is true. Hence, we can say that truth value of there exists x p of x is true. See the next one, for all x p of x. For all x p of x means for every value in the domain, the condition must be true. For example, take 2. If you take integer 2, is 2 equal to 2 square? No. That means for at least one element condition is false. So, the truth value of for all x p of x is false. One more example. Here some statements or some quantifiers are given. We have to find the truth value for the domain of all integers. Here the domain is set of all integers. So, we have to find the truth value. See the first one, for all n, n plus 1 greater than n. That means we can say that it is true if this condition is satisfied for every element in the domain. Here what is domain? Set of all integers. Whether you take either 0 or positive negative, take any value, this condition will be satisfied. Hence, it is true. See the next one, there exists n, 2n equal to 3n. That means there should be at least one element from the domain such that this condition must be satisfied. For example, 0 is integer. If you substitute 0 here, 0 equal to 0, condition is true. Hence, its truth value is true. Next one is there exists n, n equal minus n. That means we can say that it is true if we are able to prove that for at least one integer the condition is true. Take 0, 0 is integer, 0 equal minus 0, condition is true. That means there is at least one element for which the condition is true. Hence, we can say that truth value of this statement is also true. Next, one more example. Here for each of the statements, find the domain for which the statement is true and find the domain for which statement is false. Here some statement is given. Everyone is studying discrete mathematics. So, we have to find two domains such that for one domain condition must be true and for one domain condition must be false. It will be true when the domain consisting of all students in DMS class. If we consider all the students in DMS class as domain, then this condition will be true. Then when it will be false? If the domain consisting of all the people in the world, then this statement will be false. So, for the domain of all the students in the DMS class, this will be true. And if you take all the persons in the world as domain, then this condition becomes false. Here some statements are given. We have to express using predicates, quantifiers and logical connectives. Here we have to take domain in two types. First one is domain consisting of all students in the class. That is one domain, and all the people. So, for both domains, we have to solve these problems. First one is, someone in our class can speak Hindi. Here, we are assuming C of x as x is in our class, and h of x as x can speak Hindi. Here, domain we can take two types. One is students in our class, and another is all the people. For the both domains, we have to find the solution. If the domain is students in the class, solution will be there exists x h of x. Ante means there is some student in our class who can speak Hindi. That is the meaning of the statement. If the domain consisting of all the people, then it should be like this. There exists x, C of x, meet h of x. That means there is one person who is in our class and can speak Hindi. So, according to the domain, solution may change. Here one domain, solution like this. For domain of all the people, solution will be like this. That means we have to understand that according to the domain we take, solution may change. Next, one more example is given. Some propositions or tautologies. This is the given statement. We have to express using predicates, quantifiers, and logical connectives. Here we are assuming domain as propositions. So, statement can be assumed as T of x colon x is a tautology. So, some propositions means not all. So, we should take existential quantifier. So, it can be expressed in terms of quantifiers as there exists x, T of x. That means some propositions or tautologies. That is the meaning of this statement. Here some problems are given. Find counter example, if possible, to the universally quantified statements. Here domain is all the integers. Here for the given statements, domain is set of all integers. Then the problem is to find the counter example. So, what is a counter example? If we want to prove that universal quantifier is false, we have to prove that for at least one element, condition will be false. Such element is called counter example. See the first one. For all x, x square greater than or equal to x. Counter example means we have to take at least one integer such that for that integer this condition becomes false. Take any value, 0 greater than or equal to 0, true. Minus 1 whole square greater than or equal to minus 1, true. So, whatever value integer take, whether it is positive or negative or 0, whatever it may be, if you substitute here, the condition getting true. That means we can say that there is no counter example for this problem. That means there is no even single integer to fail this condition. See the next one. For all x, either x greater than 0 or x less than 0. The statement is take any integer, it can be either greater than 0 or less than 0. That is the statement given. So, we have to take one example such that the condition will fail. If you take x equal to 0, so if you take x equal to 0, then condition became fail. So, x equal to 0 is counter example for this problem. See the next one. For all x, x equal to 1. Here that is assignment. For all x, x equal to 1. If we assign any value other than 1, that will be the counter example for this problem. So, any value other than 1. If it is given to x, this condition became false. So, any value other than 1 will be the solution for this case. Here one problem is given. Here domain is all the real numbers. So, here the problem is domain consisting of all the real numbers. and the problem is given like this. You have to translate like this. What is the meaning of the statement? For every real number x and for every real number y, if x is positive and y is negative, product is negative. That means we can say that product of any one positive real number and one real number is negative. In that way, we can express like this. So, for any real numbers x and y, if x is positive and y is negative, product is negative. That means product of any positive and real numbers is negative. Here, one statement is given. Every real number except 0 has multiplicative inverse. For example, if you take any real number x which is non-zero, then it will have multiplicative inverse. So, consider x not equal to 0. We have to prove that it has multiplicative inverse. What is multiplicative inverse? If we multiply that with given number, we should get 1. So, if x is non-zero, then there should be some y such that x into y equal 1. Then y will be the multiplicative inverse for x. That we have to express in terms of symbols. Series. For all x not equal to 0 implies there exists y such that x into y equal to 1. So, for every real number x, if x is non-zero, then there is some real number y such that their product is 1. That means y will be the inverse for x. Next, here some statements are given. We have to translate. Here C of x is taken as x as computer. F of xy is x and y are friends. Here domain is all the students in our class. Here some statements are given. You have to express in English terms. See the first one. For all x, C of x join this one. That means for every student in our class, either he is computer or there is some friend who has computer and friend. So, the meaning of the given statement is every student in the class has a computer or will have a friend who has computer. That is the meaning of this statement. Next, we will discuss about quantification of two variables. Means one quantifier is in the range of another quantifier. See here, first one is for all x, for all y, p of xy, for all y, for all x, p of xy. So, here two same universal quantifiers. When it will be true, when it will be false. So, we can say that for all x, for all y, p of x comma y will be true for every pair x comma y. What are the values of x and what are the values of y? P of xy must be true. If that condition is true, then we can say that for all x, for all y, p of xy will be true. Then it will be false. For there is at least one x and y such that p of xy is false. If there is at least one pair x comma y such that p of x comma y is false, then we can say that for all x, for all y, p of x comma y is false. This is about universal quantifier. See, this is nested. For all x, there exists y, p of x comma y. That means here for every x, there is some y such that p of x comma y is true. That means here y will be fixed. X may change. For any value of x and for a fixed y, condition should be true. If it is true, then we can say that for all x, there exists y, p of x comma y is true. Then it will be false. There is an x such that p of x comma y is false for every y. That means for a fixed x and for every value of y, p of xy is false. If this condition is satisfied, we can say that the given condition is false. See the next one. There exists x for all y, p of x comma y. So, when it will be true, when it will be false. There is an x for which p of xy is true for every y. If this condition is satisfied, then the given statement is true. If for every x and for a y, p of xy is false, then it will be false. So, all these about quantification of two variables. Next, we will take some example on. Now, we will discuss one more example on nested quantifiers. Here, some nested quantifiers are given. We have to translate as English sentences. See the first one. For all x, there exists y. For all x, there exists y, x less than y. For all x, there exists y, x less than y. That means, for every real number x, there is some real number y such that x less than y. See the next one. For all x, for all y, x greater than or equal to 0 and y greater than or equal to 0. That implies xy greater than or equal to 0. We can express as for every real number x and for every real number y. If x is non-negative and y is non-negative, then their product is also non-negative. In this way, we can express the nested quantifiers in terms of English sentence. See one more example. Let q of x comma y be the statement x has sent an email message to y. Here domain is all the students in our class. Express the quantifications in English. Here q of xy stands for x has sent email message to y, and domain is all the students in our class. See the first one. There exists x, there exists y, q of x comma y. That means there is some student x and some student y in the class such that x has sent email message to y. See the next one. There exists x for all y, q of x comma y. That means there is some student in the class who has sent mail to everyone in the class. Here x is having existential quantifier, y is having universal quantifier. So, it can be expressed as some student in our class has sent email message to everyone in the class. One more problem. Here find some quantifications are given. You have to find counter examples for the given statement. Counter example means we have to take one element such that for that element condition will get failed. Here domain is all the integers. See the first one. For all x, for all y, x square equal y square implies x equal to y. For example, take x as 1 and y as minus 1. 1 square equal minus 1 square, but 1 not equal to minus 1. So, it will be failed. Whatever it may be, either 1 or 2, anything. Take 1 positive and 1 is negative. For example, x equal to y equal minus 2. Substitute here, condition will get failed. So, minus 2, 2 is one of the counter examples for the given statement. See the next one. For all x, there exists y, such that y square equal x. That means for every value of x, this condition must be true. But for example, take x equal to minus 4. Whatever the value of y, its square will not be equal to negative value. So, x equal minus 4 is the counter example for the given statement. See the next one. For all x, for all y, x into y greater than or equal to x. For example, take x equal 17, y equal minus 1. So, their product is negative, greater than or equal to positive, which is not correct. X into y means 17 into minus 1, which is minus 17. Minus 17 greater than or equal to 17, which is false. So, x equal to 17, y equal minus 1 is counter example for the given statement. Here one more example. The sum of two positive integers is always positive. The given statement should be expressed in the terms of logical expressions, quantifiers, all these things. Here domain is all the integers. So, given statement can be written as for every integer x and for every integer y, their product and sum is also positive. So, it can be expressed as for all x, for all y, x greater than 0 meet y greater than 0 implies x plus y greater than 0. That means for every real number integers x and y, if x is positive and y is positive, then their sum is also positive. So the given statement can be expressed in terms of quantifiers and logical connectives as for all x, for all y, x greater than 0 meet y greater than 0 implies x plus y greater than 0. Here change the domain. In previous part we take only integers as domain. In this example, we are taking all positive integers as domain. Then the given statement can be expressed like this. So for all x, for all y, x plus y greater than 0. That means for every positive real numbers, positive integer numbers x and y, their sum is also positive. So according to the domain, solution may change. In previous example, we take only integers as domain. In this example, we take all positive integers as domain. So for this problem, solution will be for all x, for all y, x plus y greater than 0. Here some quantification statements are given. We have to express as English sentences. Here domain is all the real numbers. See the first one, for all x there exists y, x less than y. That means for every real number x, there is real number y such that x is less than y. See the next one, for all x, for all y, for every real numbers x and y, if x is non-negative, y is non-negative, then the product is also non-negative. Next we will discuss about what is an argument, what is premise, when can we say that argument is valid. An argument is nothing but sequence of propositions. Similarly, in sequence of propositions, except the last one, all the remaining propositions are called as premises. In the sequence of propositions, the final proposition is called as conclusion. So we can define an argument as sequence of propositions in which all propositions except the final are called as premises, and the final one is called as conclusion. So if argument is given, when can we say that it is valid? Using the premises, we should be able to derive the conclusion. If we are able to derive the conclusion from the premises, we can say that argument is valid. Otherwise, invalid. Here, rules of inference. So all these rules should be used when we are proving that an argument is valid or not. First one is modus ponens. P implies Q by therefore Q. This rule is called as modus ponens. Modus tollens, hypothetical syllogism, disjunctive syllogism, addition, simplification, conjunction, resolution. All these rules will be applied when we are proving that an argument is valid or not. So when can we say that modus ponens? P implies Q by therefore Q. If the proposition is in that form, P implies Q by therefore Q, then it is modus ponens. P implies Q, negation Q by negation P. It is modus tollens. P implies Q, Q implies R by therefore P implies R. That is hypothetical syllogism. Next, P join Q, negation P by therefore Q. Disjunctive syllogism. P by therefore P join Q. It is addition. P meet Q by therefore P. Simplification. P Q by therefore P meet Q. Conjunction. P join Q, negation P join R by therefore Q join R. Resolution. All these rules of inference are used when we are proving that an argument is valid. Here one problem is given, we have to identify which rule of inference is applicable to it. Here argument is given, it is below freezing now. That is one argument, one proposition. Therefore, it is below freezing or raining now. The part before therefore is the premise. The part after therefore is the conclusion. So here we will assume P as it is below freezing now, Q as it is raining now. If we assume like that, the given proposition is in the form P by therefore P and Q. It is nothing but addition rule. So when you are asked to find which rule of inference is applicable to the given argument, first we will assume each proposition with some variable and we have to convert into this form. So according to rule of inference, we can identify which rule of inference it is suitable. See the next problem. It is below freezing now and raining now. Therefore, it is below freezing now. Assume P as it is below freezing. Assume Q as it is raining now. So the given first proposition can be written as P meet Q by therefore P. P meet Q by therefore P. It is nothing but simplification rule. Next, see the rule. If it rains today, then we will have a barbecue today. If we do not have barbecue today, then we will have barbecue tomorrow. If we assume P as it is raining today, Q as we will not have barbecue today, R as we will have a barbecue tomorrow, then the given proposition will be in the form P implies Q, Q implies R by therefore P implies R, which is nothing but hypothetical syllogism. See the next one. Which rule of inference is used in the last argument? Here P is assumed as 101 is divisible by 3, Q as 101 square is divisible by 9. So the given proposition can be written as P implies Q by therefore Q. It is given, we have to identify which rule of inference is suitable for it. We know that it is a modus ponens. That is P implies Q by therefore Q. That rule is related to modus ponens. So solution for this is modus ponens. Okay, next one more example. Here some premises are given, we should be able to derive the conclusion.